Good evening. Welcome to today's edition of Face to Face. I'm having some technical glitches from my end here, so that's why it takes a little bit longer. I was trying to put in the intro video. They were not working because I've not used Streamline for some time now. Anyway, let's go straight to our topic for today. Nigeria present reality, and honestly, it is a complex and troubling picture. We want to get the take of our viewers and also those who are going to be joining us here in the studio today. I have my brother Chief MD who's going to be joining, and Honorable Joe Brandeliero all the way from Texas is also going to be part of this program. We are going to be discussing about the economic hardship, security concern, political climate under President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, the youth disillusionment, death of the former president, and the emergence of the new political party ADC in Nigeria. These are the topics that we are going to be discussing on this program today. It's been a while. I've been absent from this program for a very long time now due to quite a lot of things, challenges that's been going on with me, life, life in the UK, as a matter of fact, work, school, and all that. So anyway, I'm happy to be back here again, as usual. Normally, this program is anchored every 6 p.m. Nigeria and UK time. However, we have to push it for 7 p.m. so that we can get some of our brother into the program for today. First, let me bring the audience to the program, then we can continue and run through the topic for today. Chief MD, you are welcome to the program. I can hear you.
Sorry, my mic was mute. Sorry.
Yeah,
it's a privilege and honor to be here as usual. Thank you very much for having me.
How have you been, brother?
It's been wonderful. Great. Life has been wonderful, to be honest. I cannot complain.
Good to hear that. Good to see your face. Now, I think you shave your beard, some of your beard, and you look much better now. Now you don't look like one of those people from the Saudis, from the Arab nation. It's good to see you, bro.
Yeah, I look much more normal.
Yeah, it's better, nice. Man. It's better.
I like it. I miss it. I miss my beard already, but I like this too.
And this I think this look much better on you, though. Let me bring our brother to the studio as well. Honorable Joe Dele Brown Ero, you are welcome to the program, sir. Sorry for the little technical glitches from my end, so I wasn't able to start the program as usual. How are you doing today, sir?
Pretty good. It's always good to see you and Chief MD, and it's good to have been on your show today.
Thank you so much. Let's just move straight into our topic for today. We're going to be discussing, like I said during my opening statement, we're going to be discussing about the economic hardship, the security concern, political climate under the present administration, the death of the former president. A lot has been happening in Nigeria, but due to my absence, I've not been able to catch up with most of this issue. But I just decided to bring everything together today so we can pour it out, let it out, and let the people feel it. Are you ready for today?
Let's go.
Are you both ready, bro?
Let's go.
Very much so. Very, very much so.
That's good. Let's dive in. Economic hardship. Nigeria has been going through quite a lot after the removal of the fuel subsidy during the inauguration of the incumbent president, Bola Ahmed Tinubu. A lot have went on, a lot have gone wrong, whatever way, you shape or form that you could describe it. A lot has been happening in Nigeria. The masses are the one bearing the brunt, while the elite are still on top enjoying their game. So all the palliative, all the cushion, all the things they've done for the masses, nothing is working. What is the way forward, bro? Let me ask you first, Chief MD.
Yes, this is a very important discussion we're having. And to be fair with you, I find it like with the geniuses of President Tinubu, I'm not one of those who criticize people or critics say. I'm not one of those people who just express dissatisfaction because I have the right to do so as a citizen of great concern. However, I feel like the president have a misplaced priority, and his team also have a misplaced priority, because I do not understand for the life of me. The first thing they did was to spend about 15 billion in the presidential, vice presidential villa. I cannot understand, even though it make economic sense for a long time, they're spending over billions and billions of money to build the Calabar Expressway, which is essential. We need it. I'm not saying we don't. I cannot understand for the life of me where we're buying a new presidential jet and all those stuff. It's giving 150 million plus naira to each of the House and Senate, plus all the remuneration given to them. But what I thought they could have done, what I assumed they could have done, is look at the critical situation at hand and then address those things first, having a priority-led critical thinking, like security. Address the security problem we have. That's a simple thing. Like, another thing is commerce. Most of the commerce we do is within state, within locality. Address interstate road. That's very important. Address interstate road, whereby they make sure the road connectivity between one state to the other, the express road, we address that. Address transportation within straight crossing. What this gentleman did, Rotimi Amechi, for 8 years, was to connect the whole of the north to Niger and build the biggest rail station in Niger. But we could have just connected the south and the east, the south and the west, the north and the east, the north and the west, and build major roads, internal roads within little state link all the states. Let's even say all the states in the east, all the states in the west, link up together, all the states in the north. They could have just started with that. But what we are doing has no direct benefit. It's making the cost of living very expensive. From Abuja to Lagos, I don't have, back in the days that I was driven when the road was good, it's less than 9 hours straight. Now the road is so bad, it will take you hundreds of hours just to drive Abuja Lagos. I forget the insecurity in between that. Your life is at danger to just driving from Lagos to Edo State, for instance. You have over 1 million checkpoints and billions of potholes. What would take you an hour, 2 hours, will take you 5 hours. Lagos to Benin should not be more than 2 hours or 3 hours. It will take you 6, 7 hours just to drive Lagos to Benin. You have checkpoints, you have bad roads, you have insecurity, you have danger. You understand? So
Yeah, we are with you.
it's just misplaced priority of this government. They're not focused on the critical things they need to do than anything else. I really don't understand it. We're looking at opening trade with foreign countries. We don't even trade very well among the states. Most of the crops grown in the north barely survive to get to the south. Same likewise. I
Okay,
would have
thank you
concentrated
so
on
much.
that. And that is the root cause of our hardship more than anything else. I yield.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, my brother Chief MD. I will come back to you again to get your solution on that issue, on the issue of economic, and what you think the government should do, or rather what they ought to do to make things better. Because Nigerians are the Nigerian masses are the one bearing the brunt. The elite, they are still feeding fat, enjoying their life as normal, like nothing is going on in Nigeria. So I'm going to come back to you. Let me allow my brother, Honorable Joe Delibairo, also add his own, contribute his own part to this quite a wonderful topic for today. Over to you, Honorable Brown.
Okay. I thank you, and I want to thank Chief MD for his contribution. My own is the government. It is not easy to understand how governance work generally when you are not part of it, or when you do not have knowledge about it. First of all, the problem we have in this present government is that the way they started was having a lot of problems, So, in you came into the government without preparation. That's exactly what happened. There was not enough preparation on their side, particularly the president himself. The removal of the subsidy that we had up to now, personally, as in-depth knowledge that I have not been able to understand uh, subsidy when it comes to Nigeria government. They said when they remove the subsidy, that is going to save a lot of money for Nigeria to boost the economy. But at the end of the day, it seems that the whole thing, the economy has gotten worse. So then what is the meaning of the subsidy? The basic, the fundamental that I understand about subsidy is that the government have been subsidizing the crude or something. But at the end of the day, when you remove the subsidy, okay, you say you were going to save money. The money that you have saved so far, this government is about 7 months old now, or so. But we have not been able to see any impact of that. Therefore, there is nothing like subsidy. That's number one. Then coming back to the economy, when you have an economy where you depend on importation alone, where you have no investment, no local investment. Even the road to bringing in foreign investors, it's not even there because there's no encouragement. So I'm going to talk about those two real quick. Now, you cannot expect anything out of nothing. You cannot expect anything out of nothing because we do not have production, and you do not expect to even have local consumption or exportation. Number one. Then number two, the foreign investors that would have been attracted to our country, how do you do that? You do not have a constant power supply in Nigeria. 1960 to now is about 65 years. We have not been able to, put in place adequate power supply. And without power, investors will not. They have no place to invest. Forget about maybe the infrastructure of the main thing that attracts foreign investors is power. We do not have that, and he talked about bad roads and all that stuff. That one is
let me quickly come in there. What do you think is the solution to this economic hardship? Let me start with you. What's the solution? Is there any solution
the solution to it is what we are talking about now, because the solution is, first of all, you have to open up open the road or the way for investors, both local and international investors. Number one, to produce. If you are not producing, if there's no production, right? How you expect to boost the economy? You just depend on borrowing alone, and when you borrow to do what? Probably to fix some dilapidated infrastructure. The roads are not good. There's no power. There's nothing works in Nigeria at the moment. That's my own thing. So the only way you can do that is, first of all, is to boost the economy. Allow investors to come in, and you have to have local production. Without that, it is going to be hard. It's not rocket science. Huh?
Thank you so much, my brother. Chief MD, the floor is yours. What's your solution to the government?
I think
how to solve the issue of the economic hardship?
To add to what my dear brother just said, you see, the government does not create jobs. And it's not possible for any government to create jobs. What they do, they create the opportunity and the facility for jobs to be created. In every industrialized economy or in the growing industrialized economy, there are two common threats. One is energy. You have to have constant energy for any business, or even though if you are administrative, just online business, administrative business, you need energy to run your office. Then the other thing is skill. Nigerians, even though we have thousands of people graduating every year, we're actually very short of skills in Nigeria. And when I say we're short of skills, is this: technical skills, from bricklayer to electrician to mechanic to the core skill, core business skill. We're really short of it. We have a lot of people becoming lawyers, business administrators, sociology, psychology studying. I've met so many people studying sociology, psychology in Nigeria, where our therapy, we go to church. When we don't hear sermon, we good. You understand? So Nigeria needs to invest in technical skill. I really appreciate that the president made technical skill free, which is good. I also appreciate that the government made student loan, but we're also very deficient in some areas like engineering. We're also very deficient in medical areas. I would have brought down the cost. I'll make the criteria high, but I would have brought down the cost of you qualifying as a doctor, because we need lots of that. We heavily short on that. Medical student, even getting to nursing school. Nigeria are running into nursing school right now because of a opportunity for them to get out of the country. Not necessarily to serve the nation or country, and we're short of nurses and doctors. So the government can create this kind of incentive. And so opportunity for commerce to flow. The Nigerian government needs to create secured road for goods and services to be able to move between interstate. I'll give you a good example. There's a train that runs from Lagos, Abeokuta to Ibadan, right? That train only runs twice a day. Just imagine the impact if that train was running 24, even not even 24 hours, but start early like 5 o'clock. People can be living in Ibadan cheap to get to Lagos Island for a job and go back during the day. But it only runs twice a day. And it doesn't run at the peak hour. It runs after the peak hours. It runs one at 9 o'clock and the other one at 5 o'clock. Just twice a day.
Sad.
It's very depressing. The trucks are there, the train are there, and the people managing don't see the commercialization of it. That they're only looking at, oh, let's put it down when we can get mass people. It doesn't work like that. Sometimes the train will be empty, sometimes the train will be full as well, and it's only one train. You would think a nation like that, with that route, that access, that Lagos, Ibadan, you
Thank
have at
you, Chief
4, 5.
MD.
When you talk about technical skills, it's okay to invest on technical skills. That's fine. But at the end of the day, we have a lot of graduates roaming the streets. A lot of them do not even have. I mean, even if you don't, the government have not been able to provide them jobs, and then you want these people to go into private, entrepreneur. Where is how? There's no opportunity for them. They don't have it. Now you are investing in the education, technical education, and all that, which is okay. It is good. But where there is no investment, the investors are not there. How? Where are they going to be employed? I mean, how do they get engaged? How do they get engaged? That's the problem. So now the problem we have is nothing but corruption. So Nigeria is so corrupt. Look, you're talking about the train. I understand that I applied the road from Edo to Lagos for way back in the 80s, probably early 90s. The roads they were better. Now, since the fourth democracy, that nobody is even touching them. If you travel on that road, I think the list or the best time you will spend on that road now is about 4 or 5 hours. The road that used to be, I mean, the journey that used to take like about 2.5 hours to 3 hours, now you'll be expected to spend about 4, 5, 6 hours on the way. because
Thank you
these
so much.
government are not responsible for it. That's it.
Thank you so much.
We
Thank
have
you
to
so much, my
provide
brother.
an
Let me
opportunity for the economy to
quickly,
thrive. That's it.
Chief Henry, I'll come back to you. I'll come back to you, please, so we don't flog the issue too much. The truth of the matter is, we have quite a lot of educated illiterate in Nigeria. If we want to go into that, but that's not a topic for today. We have quite a lot of educated illiterate. What I mean by educated illiterate, we have a lot of brothers and sisters who study biology, physics, chemistry, whatever. At the end of the day, most of them cannot even defend it. Not to even talk about trying to empower themselves to create something out of whatever they feed of their specialty. So let's leave that for another day, because I'm sure when you go through the technical college here in the Western world, you should be able to come up with something, design something. Maybe, for example, you're an engineer, you should be able to come up with something, design a car, design whatever it is. You see them out here, but in Nigeria, the case is quite different. A lot of them have degree, but they cannot even defend that degree. You and I, you know that very well. Stephen, do you have the floor, please?
Yeah, to an extent, I disagree with that, but to an extent, because the opportunity to apply that is not even in existence for you to truly test their ability to do the degree. And if you see 90% of the Nigerians who get their first degree in Nigeria and travel outside the country to do further degree, they are the top of the class because we learn with force in Nigeria. In addition to that, adding on to what my brother said, I think what the government also needs to do is also in our education system, we're not teaching people how to be an entrepreneur, to be a self-employed. You see, we are training them to just become an employee, get a degree, come out to become an employee. They're not being initiated, invested in coming up. How can you go to an engineering school or IT school in this modern day and you come out, you're looking for an IT job? There's so many things you can be doing with self-employed or creating employment, creating wealth. That's another thing. The government also have to have a system that give a start, like in this country, and most even like in Saudi Arabia, if you're a citizen, you have a business idea, I think they give you up to about 25 million just to start any business. I remember when I ran for governor in Edo State, and one of my campaign was, if you attend technical school, after you graduate from technical school, you have a 1 million as a startup loan with about 5% support interest. 1 million as a startup loan. Two people who went to technical school to study mechanic, they can start up a mechanic shop. They're self-employed. And they also can employ more people and take themselves out of the labor market. Those are the things the government should be doing rather than trying all the, because most of the reason why, Nigerian population is below 50. Go to any part of Nigeria, you will see tons and tons of young women and men just bushing, roaming around. We're a very, very young nation. Very,
Thank you,
very
Chief
young
Andy.
nation.
Thank you so much. If you are just joining us on this program, the topic for today, Nigeria present reality, and honestly, it is a complex and troubling picture. We want to get your take as well. Now we have quite a lot of areas of topic for today. The next on the list is the security concern, the ongoing insecurity from banditry in the north to kidnapping in the south. The persistent governance failure, security remain decentralized among rogue actors. Despite every military budget every year, still the security issue in Nigeria is appalling. So we also want to get your input, your thought on the issue of security. How do we begin to address the issue of security? Like I think it was former president of Nigeria, BB, that said issue of security, issue of kidnapping and banditry, if they continue to persist in the system, which means somebody in the government is part of it. So we want to get your take in it. We start with you, my honorable brother, Jodele Brian Rowe. How do we begin to address the issue of security in Nigeria?
Okay, thank you. You see, when you talk about security in Nigeria, so it baffles me sometimes. It's very worrisome when you say there's insecurity. You have banditry, Boko Haram, kidnapping, and all that. It looks like we are losing the grip of our position, particularly in Africa. When we say we are the giant of Africa, with the giant of Africa, and therefore is supposed to reflect in everything that we do in Nigeria. First of all, how in the world that we have probably the best army in Africa, and we are unable to combat with the Boko Haram, or okay, where the insurgency that is created by the Boko Haram or the bandits, or now talk about the kidnapping. How in the world? Now we have the system. The previous government, which is the Buhari administration, they came up with a very brilliant idea that is practicable in the Western world as well. They came up with the issue of NIN. NIN, now, if you do not have NIN in Nigeria, then it looks like you are not existing in Nigeria. It is linked to the phones. It is linked to the banking system. So now, when people are kidnapped, and those kidnappers are calling for ransom, is it not the phone that they use? How in the world that you are not able to trace those numbers to be able to apprehend the kidnappers? So these are issues that you're like, okay. So, and then they are now saying, because the kidnappers or the bandits are in the forest, that the farmers are now they are now retreated back. They don't have they can't go to the farms because the bandits have taken over the forest. That's something that is laughable. You know why? They got drones. You can use drones to comb the forest and pick them up. That can never happen here in the States. You know it. You've been here. Even in the UK, I've been there. It's impossible. How are they going to do that? Now we do not have nothing. We are handicapped. Our security apparatus doesn't work. First of all, they don't even have enough money, no subvention, to be able to have the latest equipment to actually combat this. So the bandits or the Boko Haram are now more equipped, better equipped than our military. It is just a shame. So I don't know how they're going to be able to solve that, but they know it. They know it when they vote money into that area. But guess what? It goes into the private pockets. That's the problem. When you interview any police officer in Nigeria or the military personnel, they'll tell you that they are even underpaid. First of all, sometimes allowances are not paid and all that. Where is the money going to? So how do you expect a hungry man to go into the bushes to combat with less equipment, over those that are now in charge, the Boko Haram, the bandits, or the kidnappers? It is impossible. They can't do it.
Thank you so much, brother. Chief MD, over to you. Issue of insecurity. How do we begin to address the issue of insecurity in Nigeria? What are your observations, your thoughts, and how the way forward to address this issue? Because this issue has become a laughing stock, in spite the huge amount of budget for the military, the police, and all that. Still, nothing to write home about when it comes to insecurity.
It is very clear, unless we're pretending and we're trying to be self-righteous. It is very clear that there are two main players in the insecurity in Nigeria. One is the Nigerian government, and that is the truth. And the other one is some big selfish people in some big selfish people who are also making a living in cohorts with foreign aid. Because he had in the American Congress where it was basically said that they used the aid money to sponsor terrorism in Nigeria. It was said by a sitting House of Rep in America to a military person. And not only that, when at the onset of this terrorism, there is video on YouTube where we see foreign plane, helicopter landing in this same forest with giving these terrorist ammunitions. And there's no way the Nigerian government can say they're not aware of it. It's just a fact. We had dissenting soldiers who are now coming out and saying, listen, you're sending us to a battle without giving us ammunition. Or no, even and the pay as well. So the Nigerian government are not interested in solving this. If you look at the north, most of the areas these terrorists are clearing. They are clearing areas with resources. They're not just clearing random places. They're clearing areas with resources. Do you know the sand in the north? The sand in the north. 90% of the container that comes from China, they pack the sand in the north and take it back because of the mineral content in the sand. And they're doing that for free. And the Nigerian government are part of knowing this, are part of this terrorism in Nigeria, else they would solve it. They are the main benefactor for it. But let's even narrow it down. The military are the main sponsor of Boko Haram, because if it does not serve their interest, they would have resolved it. They would have resolved it. And for the military to know these terrorist people, and the military refuse to define them as terrorists, instead calling them earthsmen, calling them bandits, it shows they're in cahoots with the Nigerian government and the military.
When you are accusing the military that they are supposed to be in charge of the issue of banditry, is that their primary duty? Is that not the responsibility of the Nigerian police? Because in my own opinion, or my own understanding, the military are supposed to defend the territorial district of the country, or especially going to war with other country or whatever, but not the issue of banditry and Boko Haram. That should be the primary responsibility of the police.
Yeah, internally the police, but what's the total population of police? 90% of the police are guiding the big men. We have about 300,000 of police. If we take the administrator and the senior executive of that police out, that's close to about 50 to 100,000. The rest are security guard for the rich people. You can afford to get a police today. So where are the police? The military at least can guide the border. 90% of these terrorists are coming from Niger. We know that. You know that. And they're circling around those Niger houses. Now that Niger and Mali are taking them out, guess what? They're all running into Nigeria and finding a base in Nigeria. So what are we doing about it? And we're protecting them. We're calling them bandits, herdsmen. They're not. They have a defined purpose. Like, let us be sincere. What did Buba Galadima said? Say that the very purpose they brought Buhari back is to come and defend and expand the Fulani hegemony in Nigeria. So when you have that, so 8 years of Buhari didn't do anything about them because they serve his interest, the Fulani domination. Now that they're out of power, or the Fulani control of the government out of power, what are they doing? They're now forming a coalition and start complaining about insecurity and suffering and everything that underneath Buhari, their own brother, did not say a word.
Let's leave that for now, because we're going to come to that as well. Let's just address the issue of the security concern for now, and then we'll come back to that.
Well, that's part of the
insecurity. So what are your recommendations? What do you think the government ought to do or should do in order for us to have a proper security system in place in Nigeria, just like it is in every other developed nation?
My dear brother, you see, the inconvenient truth is for us to shy away from the reality that we have terrible in the country. And that inconvenient truth will not make us progress, because it's either we call a spade, or we keep lying to ourselves that a spade is something else. Buhari is one of the greatest enemy of Nigeria. For 8 years, he did nothing but to facilitate the growth of terrorism in Nigeria. That is the truth. Dubai deported 3 people and said these people are sponsoring terrorists in your country. Buhari mollycoddled them and put them in a position where they cannot be touched. Underneath Buhari, it's only in Buhari in the history of any country, he called the terrorist people repentant terrorists and gave them military position. to go and fight their same brothers. They are all
Thank
recruited in
you.
the military, in the custom, and
Thank,
everything.
thank
So
you,
we
Chief
have to
MD.
face the reality.
Thank you, Chief
So,
MD.
as far
Joe
as I'm
Brown,
concerned,
you have the
yeah, as far as I'm concerned, I wouldn't want to dwell on the past government because government is a continuity. There's supposed to be some form of continuity in governance. Now, but if they say, which was they have not been able to substantiate that fact that Buhari is the one that brought in insecurity. Look, the responsibility, the primary responsibility of any government is to defend lives and properties. And when it comes to like the military, as he said, the military, they are supposed to defend the territorial integrity of a nation, of Nigeria, the army, the police, the air force, the navy combined. They're supposed to be able to protect the nation's territory. That's number one. And now when if, let us agree that okay, they're coming from Niger. Who knows the terrain better? I'm a stranger in your locality. How do you expect me to know your terrain better than you, who is an indigene? Now we have army. All this I just mentioned put together, that you are not able to stop people who are coming in, into that. People who are, coming to invade our own territory. It is a shame. So what it is the government, again, I will keep saying this, they are irresponsible. Our government, all they know how to do is to inflate budgets. And at the end of the day, to benefit themselves, their family or their friends, whatever it is. That's what they are doing. They ain't doing nothing. The National Assembly, I don't see the reason why they should be giving all that bogus salaries and allowances. So
Thank you
all
so
the
much.
yeah, yes, sir. So if they are serious about it, they should provide better equipment for our military to be able to stand the equipment that the bandits or whatever they call them have, so that they are using to terrorize our nation.
Thank you so much, my wonderful brother. Let's move on so we don't flog that issue for so long. Let's move on now. The next one is the political climate under Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Tinubu honeymoon period is over. Criticism of his handling of reform and governance is mounting, especially with its perception of recycled old faces in power. There is an increased sense that it is politics as usual. Patronage, impunity, and elite-driven governance, why ordinary Nigerians suffer. That's a fact. Or is it a fact? Your opinion, Chief MD.
You see, the thing there is Tinubu know Nigerian and Nigerian politicians better than many Nigerians know themselves. Tinubu exemplify an average Nigerian. We are too self-centered and too individualistic that we don't really care. We have this breed of Nigerian that came into politics after 1983 election to 1999 election during Abiola election. All those breed of politicians that came into place, then they are all in their 70s now. They are all just greedy. Pardon my French, please. They are just a greedy bastard. They have no communal interest. They have no development interest. They have no leadership interest that inspire the next generation. The like of Awolowo, the like of Azikiwe, the like of even Ahmadu Bello. What they have is self-interest. So from the time 83 coup till 1999 election, the politicians that breathed that time, they are all the ones who are in government now, who only look at self-interest. Look at Bauchi House of Assembly. Somebody put on the day. They spent 22 million to buy printer, 22 million to buy scanner, 15.5 million to buy each printer. What kind of printer is that? Look at the other day, one of the, I think, Kano governor spent billions for people to get married and multiply. Not school, not health center, not anything that benefit the community and society. Look at even the other, one of the northern states, bought one computer for 60 million. And they openly said it. We bought one computer for 60 million. And nobody, no uprising, nothing, nobody cared. These are the kind of politicians or leaders we have at the moment, that they're self-serving. They are the crop of what? They are the kleptomaniac of the kleptomaniac of politician. So Tinubu just reflects that. Tinubu did not ask anybody to be wayward. You are wayward because you are. Tinubu was just able to assemble all these people to form an APC, and then they are all in power. And they're all self-serving. It's now appointing these people in the position where they have no knowledge. I'll give you a good example. I know this, look at Edo State. We have a governor right now in Edo State, which I've supported because I thought, we've had a bureaucrat, we have an academician, let's have somebody with human empathy. Because when I spoke to every one of the contestants then, it came across with somebody with human empathy. And like, let's have somebody with human, somebody that cares, forget education and everything. But it got there. The very first appointment he made was a chronism appointment. He gave Adam Oshomole's son the Ministry of Health. Check his background. This guy is just a graduate in medical school. He has never managed. He has never have an experience of even forming a policy. He's never worked in a policy development place or managed a portfolio of any policy development in public health. And then you've given him a portfolio of such, not a director, a parasite, of such to come up with ideas and develop something that he's never done. It neither does he have the academic or have the experience, not just life experience, not just academic experience, but also human knowledge, experience of public health development. And those are the kind of things that we have that you're beginning to see why we're going wrong. And look at Governor Monday himself. You understand? There's one thing not to be educated. There's another thing to seek knowledge. There's another thing to be open to personal development. We call continuous professional development. That's lacking. It's lacking. So for me, we have what the leaders we have is a reflection of us. And Tinubu is the perfection of reflection of who we are as citizens. Until we citizens, until parties start educating citizens and citizens start educating themselves, we keep producing these jargons. And that's it. We will keep producing these jargons. Because the next crop of generation are watching these people. Do you know the most lucrative business you can do in Nigeria today is become a politician? You start up a business until the new tax reform bill, which I hope it take full effect. You start up a business. If you try to run your business legitimately, they will tax you to hell. You are paying far more tax than the rich people. Now, if you don't pay the tax, you spend more money bribing local tax people, tax collector. But if you're a politician, an average politician's salary is you can't even do a business and make such money. An average politician's salary is seen it's about 20 million a month.
Thank you, Chief MD. Thank you so much. If you are just joining this program, the topic still Nigeria present reality, and honestly, it is complex and troubling picture. We want to get your take. I think we have. Let's quickly check. Chief MD, please. Thank you. I'll come back to you. I'll come back to you, please. If you can hear me, I'll come back to you, please. We have a comment here. Let's see. Bauchi Assembly buying scanner for 22 million each and printer for 15 million. Okay, that was exactly what the Chief MD just said earlier. Chine, thank you so much for your comment. Okay, my brother, Honorable Joe Delibairo, you have the floor.
Okay. Now, I want to just let you all know here, I talk about it in my own show, about what we're just talking about now, that for those of us who feel we are too much we are too academical, we are too educated. We do not want to participate in politics because why? It is a dirty game. No, politics is not a dirty game. When you shy away, that's what I can really say. When you shy away from politics, you do not want to participate in it because it is a dirty game. Guess what you do? You are giving the chances to the dirty people, unqualified people, unelectable people to take over the government, and then now you now come around to affect you, to haunt you, because why? You are not going to be taking orders from the dirty politicians, or those who are not academical, or those who are not educated. Like you said, oh, I'm so clean, I don't want to participate in it. But guess what? You will not be ruled, you will not be governed by dirty
An
politicians,
idiot.
by,
By
by
an
people
idiot.
who are uneducated, who doesn't even have no clue. They don't have knowledge. I don't have problem with appointing anybody from the scratch. He has no experience and all that. They may even do better. But what happened is nepotism in our country is the problem that we have. Somebody was looking, they showed me a video. They said, oh, you can use it for your show. I said, no, I don't use such videos on my show. There was a video for where a chairman of a local government, I think it's in the Donut area, could not even express, could not even make a sentence. And this person has no clue, has no idea, but he's the chairman. What happened? Then the elites, the leaders, are the one that they have picked them, because why? They can use them, they can manipulate them. They put them out there, and guess what you're going to get out of it? Nothing. That's why I said earlier, remember, I said you cannot get something out of nothing. No, it is impossible. So what is garbage in, garbage out? That's what it is. What you put in is what you should expect back. These people here, Tinubu already know. He's a tactician, and the guy is very brilliant. People don't understand. They don't know him. He's a brilliant politician. He already studied the terrain, studied the people. When they talk about PDP, APC, I don't care about all that. Who is money? This political party, is talking about, they are inanimate objects. They are not human beings. They're just a name, through which people are supposed to form a very good policy. What is wrong with these political parties is the people. The people, they do not have any good intention for the nation. All they are interested in is their pocket. That's what is going on. That's the problem we have. Until we fix that, allow, or let them be free. Let everybody have freedom of participation in politics. We don't have freedom. You don't know that?
Thank you so
Yes,
much.
yes. I see people try to get in to actually, who have good intention for over 18 years. They'll not be given the opportunity, no chance, because they're going to go bring out some idiots from somewhere and put in there. That's it. I'm sorry, brother.
Thank you so much, my wonderful brother. One thing that we almost acknowledge is that whatever we do on this earth, whatever we do, we always have a day of reckoning. How do you want to be remembered when you are gone? How do you want to be remembered? How do I want to be remembered? That is the most important thing for us as human. Serve humanity, not serving your pocket, serving your family. Do for the people. Give them what belongs to them. That should be the primary focus of every man, every woman coming into the government. Not going there to enrich yourself, to buy private jet, to build houses all over the world. Houses that you only going to sleep one room. The day you sleep more than one room in a night, you become a madman. The day you spend a night in two separate rooms, you become a madman. How do you want to be remembered? Now, Tinubu has the power. He has the government in his hand. He fought so hard to become the president of Nigeria. He said, Emilio Con, during his campaign, it was my turn. It is my lifelong ambition to become president of Nigeria. Now you have the power in your hand. What you do with the power is what people are going to remember you for. that will take us to the next topic, the death of the former president, General Muhammadu Buhari. I would have said let's observe a moment of silence. But because of my personal view, that I don't believe this man just died the other day. I believe this man died 2017. That's my personal opinion. And you can argue it.
No, sir. No, sir.
No. You have your time. You have your time. I don't interrupt when you. I didn't interrupt you. This is my personal opinion. I'm really sorry about this. I'm very blunt about it. However, the death of former President Buhari, if confirmed by official and credible sources, marked the end of a controversial era. His legacy is mixed with anti-corruption, chaotic, and a widespread insecurity and economic decline. His passing may shift northern political dynamic with the possible ripple effect on politics, on the national politics. Like I said, this is my own personal opinion. Many will say they will want to observe a moment of silence. But because I don't believe this man just died yesterday or died as alleged by the government, I'm not going to do that. And it's not good to talk ill about the death. But however, that does not take away all that has been happening in Nigeria when it comes to the issue, the issue of his head, the secrecy surrounding his head, and all that. We all saw it at the national stage. I'm sure you also heard about when the late Queen Elizabeth of England wished Nigeria, sent a message of condolence to the Nigerian people. That was not a mistake. That was not a coincidence. A lot happened. So now, my brother, over to you, Chief MD. What's your take on the issue of the death of the former president?
I'm also like you, but to an extent, I don't hold him in any regard. I don't think he died 2017. I think Buhari, who died a few days ago, is the right Buhari. I'm not going to jump into that conspiracy. Let's set that aside. Let's assume that it is the current president. But another thing I also hate, and I hate this with a passion, when they say, oh, we don't speak ill of the dead. That's a lie. That's a lie. Because that's a way to gloss over its history and clothe evil people with garment of grace. That's a lie. Why we have to speak about history, and history means you have to educate people about what happened. In the process of educating people about what happened, so that it doesn't repeat itself. Today, everybody talk about Hitler because of what the Jewish people do. One of the mantra of the Jewish people is never again. The only way to keep that alive is to talk about what happened to them. In Nigeria, we don't educate about slavery today. Many of us are running out of the country to the same countries or nations that enslaved our ancestors, and then we are now coming to do the same very job with minimal pay because we don't educate ourselves. As such, we have our leaders. Buhari spent 8 years with the same sickness he knew he had. It didn't even occur to him. Out of the trillion he embezzled and his people to build first-class hospital, even solely for his own treatment. Just let's build a first-class hospital just for his own particular, single, selfish, narrow treatment. That from Daura to Abuja, he can come, stay at home. No, it didn't. Instead, it will fly to UK every other month, spend 2, 3, 4 months at a 5 to 10,000 pounds a day treatment. So saying we don't speak about the ill of the dead is wrong, because that process we try to clothe them with garment of grace, which they don't deserve. Buhari did not deserve any grace, neither does he deserve any acknowledgement, apart from stating who he is. Buhari is an evil human being. When he was a military dictator, what did he do? There's an opportunity for Nigerians to nominate somebody to head, I think it was head of the Commonwealth or something like that. The person happens to be an Igbo man. And the person that he was going against at that time was a Niger Fulani man. Buhari is the only head of state that voted against his own country, against his own citizen, for a Fulani Niger Republic person for that position. That is not somebody you should clothe with the garment of grace. This is Buhari is the same person 2014, before 2015 election, claim that if he don't win, it will unleash hell on Nigerians. That is a fundamental threat to all of us. So we cannot now. It's the same person that says it will only favor the people that gave him 97% of the vote, forgetting he governed the country. So he spent 8 years basically doing everything that favors a segment of the people. Not even all the northerners, just the Fulanis of the north. So we cannot now say we don't speak. He is any public figure. Any person that put themselves in the public face, we actually have the right to discuss their. If we were praising him, nobody will say, "Oh, we don't speak about the dead." You will say, "Oh, it's fantastic. It's a wonderful man." Everybody will love it. But nobody wants to speak about. Would you speak good of Hitler today, or what's this Belgian king that killed millions of Africans in Congo? But why would not speak about Buhari? If he did something good, we would be talking about him. If he did something bad, we should also need to say it so that we can educate people. We can educate people. Nobody, apart from his immediate family and perhaps politicians, even in his own state of Katsina, people were celebrating. Do you know 8 years, the road that leads to his estate, to his house, Buhari did not even have the interest of tying the road, making it first class. It doesn't care. Period. So
Thank you so much.
We cannot say we don't speak about the dead, and because of that, we clothe them with garment of glory or mystify them or deify them as somebody. Buhari is evil. The problem we have today in Nigeria started with Buhari. His 8 years did not improve the society 1 inch.
Thank you. Chief and Honorable Joe Brown, you have the floor, please.
Okay, well, first of all, I have a very different opinion. I mean, from an activist point of view, I want to say this. What you said is in conformity with one lady who proclaimed herself to be an activist, Aisha, whatever, Aisha.
Yusuf?
Yeah, Aisha Yusuf. I can't stand her. When you are an activist, you can't deal with false information at all. No lies. She is the one.
Do you have a contract how can you just say
no?
It's a false information? Do you have
excuse me? Hold on. Give me a minute.
Other evidence to counter the
allow me to
narrative?
finish. I gave you the chance to talk. I didn't say nothing.
Go ahead.
I'm telling you that affair under the Kanu and people like you made up that. I mean, that was nasty. Talking about Buhari was dead in 2017. That's a lie. You all know that. And then they say she even went further to say that he was dead and went to they buried him in whatever they call it, Ethiopia. That's a lie. You know that yourself. I don't like that. Excuse me. Allow me to finish, sir, please. You brought me into this program to speak, and I'm going to tell you as I speak my mind. There's freedom of speech here. Now, when you say you do not want to speak about evil, I will support Chief MD on that. The guy was a public figure. We gave him the opportunity. First of all, I just said it a minute ago. These people that Buhari was sick in the first term. He spent like about 4 months out of country, outside of Nigeria, treating himself. Right? Guess what happened in 2015 election? He even won with more votes. Who gave him all that vote or whatever? Even if you say it was a false number or whatever, but we gave it the chance again to make 8 years. So how does that speak of a nation like Nigeria, where they say we have intelligent people? No, we don't. Okay, now if Buhari didn't even study, if you want to talk about the people who started killing that country, it's Babangida. And people went to him the other day and started glorifying him too when he was launching whether a book or something. When you all know that guy is the root of the evil that has befallen Nigeria. Okay? Things like that. Nobody want to speak out because why? We are expecting to get something from them. with them, we say they have one language they always say. They said, if you can't beat them, you join them. Oh my God, these are some of the things. I observed a minute silence for him because he was a leader. We gave him the opportunity, we gave him the chance. That you can't do that in UK or in the US, whether or not he underperformed or not. His name is written down that he was once a Nigeria president. That's that. Okay, now this is what we're talking about. For somebody like that, we know that he is incompetent. But we all ganged up. I include myself, all of us. I may not be part of it. I'm not one of those who did it, but we all ganged up and put him back into that position. And we know that he's not able to do it. He cannot perform. But yeah, we give it the opportunity. So you're not going to get anything out of nothing. I keep saying that. That's exactly what is wrong with our country. Now, the people they are placing in position, Tinubu may have good intention, but because of the same thing as in Nigeria, he's gonna help his kinsmen. He's gonna have some cabal, because if he doesn't, they're not going to be able to support him again. Where those people, they know that they can have nothing to offer, but those are the people that will push forward. You are going to a game, a football game. You are feeding your third 11 that are not even your third 11 that are not qualified, leaving your first 11. What do you expect? You're going to lose. That's exactly what's going on with our nation today. So I'm not going to speak. Yeah. It don't matter whether I speak ill of Buhari or not. He was our president. Yes, because he didn't perform. Yes, we know that he was not going to perform, but we continue to encourage him. And then here we go. Here we are.
Thank you so much. If you are just joining us, we are still on the topic, Nigeria present reality. And honestly, it is a complex and troubling picture. We want to get your take. I think we have some comment. Let's quickly check the comment before we move on. Okay. No, that's but when you cannot beat them, you end up joining them. How can one thrive in such environment? Chine, again, thank you for your comment.
Yeah,
okay, now
right.
let's move back. Okay, now let's move on to the next topic, the emergence of the new opposition party, ADC. Nigeria desperately needs a credible opposition, not just recycled politicians switching side. If this opposition is ideological, fresh, and people-driven, it could reshape the political space. But if it is the usual power game, it may offer little real change. We want to get your take on that. We'll start with you, Chief Job Dele Brian.
Very well. Thank you so much for this very topic here. The ADC, they call it, is dead on arrival. I can tell you that. What their aim is to unseat Tinubu. Okay, before Tinubu came into power, right? Yeah, everybody, they were doubting him. They gave him all sorts of names, and he was able to climb and collected the high office. Okay, now the highest office in that country as a president. Now he's the president. They went through court, up to the Supreme Court. There was nothing. He is still the president today. And now you are forming all this coalition where you have all these politicians scrambling to grab the position. Okay, they don't even have that cohesion. Number one. Number two, the people that you are seeing there are all disgruntled politicians. That's who they are. They have no. It's the same idea. It's the same idea that they have. All of them. They are recycling. They are recycling themselves. So and right now I can tell you about 5 states already went to court in that same ADC or whatever they call it because of position sharing, power sharing, and all that stuff. Atiku want to be. Atiku has always been. He want to collect the ticket. The other one want to collect the ticket. That one want to collect the ticket. They are all the same people, the same recycle. what is their antecedent in that country? So whom much is given, much is expected. You have a position of such magnitude. You were a vice president, and everybody know what went down during his time with Obasanjo. A lot of things like that. It's all personal aggrandizement, nothing more. So basically, whether they are going to form ADC or not, I can tell you for free. Go on. This show today, I believe is still going to be there, maybe on YouTube or nobody. They're not going to be able to take that power from Tinubu with the way they are going. This is not about opposition. It's about grabbing power. Power. They are hungry for power. That's what that. All of them have tasted power. El-Rufai has been this and that and that, and then any governor. All of them have tasted power. So what was their performance? Apart from people talking well about Obi and all that stuff, even the Obi, I still have a lot of things against him during his time. Yes, he talked about he left money in the account. Are you supposed to leave money in the account or use that money to develop the place? It is only when development has been, enormous, overwhelming, then you can say, okay, well, the other one will leave it as a reserve. But you know that not everything, nothing was actually done to the admiration of people. Say, oh, he did very well, and you are talking about you left. It's not. We are not looking for who will save money for the country, but those who will develop the country. That's what we're looking for. Not these people who are scrambling now for power.
Thank you so much. Thank you for your contribution. Chief MD, the floor is yours.
It's really funny because most of these people have been in power for almost time. Let's take Rotimi Amici, from House of Rep leader, 2 times governor, 8 times minister. What did they achieve? Let's take El-Rufai. El-Rufai went to Kaduna from FCT minister to Kaduna governor, destroyed the unity in that state. And both the Christian in the south and then Hausas, Fulani in the north, they used to live peacefully. They used to have a Christian king. Under 8 years, the Christian king was killed, and they tried to impose an emir in that region whereby there are no Fulanis. That's his greatest achievement. Is all 8 years. The very first thing he started doing when he became governor was to start bringing down churches, looking for different excuses. They didn't have the right paper. They didn't build in the right place. They didn't have the right documentation. They didn't state how their worship is done. So it destroyed so many churches. Is that a coalition you want to talk about? Let's look at Atiku. Article 8 years under his economic stewardship, he purposely sold all the induction to fertilizer company. Then
I think you have a network issue, Chief MD. We can't hear you anymore. Chief MD.
None of them is functioning today.
Your line is breaking, Chief MD. Let me just quickly. If you are just joining us on this program, we're still on the same topic, the Nigerian present reality. Honestly, it is a complex and troubling picture. We want to get your take on this important topic. Chief MD, I think Chief MD is having some technical glitches.
We can continue with him when he comes back. But anyway,
of course.
As we were saying,
we'll move on to the next.
Okay.
Now we'll move on to the next topic. We have the recent threat to the former presidential candidate of the Labour Party, Peter Gregory Obi in Edo State. What's your take on that, sir?
This is just like so childish to me. Everything that is happening in Nigeria, again, it boils down to the fact that we are not prepared. That is nothing to even talk about. I wouldn't want us to dwell too much on it because it has no.
Just give me a minute. Just give me a minute, please. MD is back. Let's just close that topic. Then we'll move on. Chief MD, you still have the floor, please. Round up on.
I didn't know what happened. I just got locked out. I apologize. Yeah, as I was saying, let's take in that coalition. Let's take President of Atiku. 8 years. His mission was to make sure impoverish all the industrial base in the south and destroy it. Atiku is also a known betrayer. While he was serving, he was betraying, undermining his own president. It was while he was vice president. After he left that, he ran against his own party 3 times. Twice, I mean, he ran against his party, then came back to his party, run against his own party as well, everything to sabotage his party. 2023, they said, right, it's zoned to the north. They gave him the ticket. He failed. 2019, 2023 came. Time for you to be zoned back to the south. He used his wealth and everything, destabilized that. PDP had an opportunity in 2023. If PDP have chosen anyone before they drive Peter Obi out, they would have defeated APC. But instead, Atiku personal greed, a personal selfishness, drove people like Peter Obi away from PDP, and people like myself, I was in PDP right from time before, to the part where we have Labour Party rising and led to APC keeping the presidency.
Oh.
Now, simply because people like Bode George and people like Wiki have said, no, not Atiku again. We've given him twice, somebody else this time. What did Atiku do? Betray the party again to go and join with ADC to now do what? Compete again. The coalition is about Atiku. It's not about anything. Like my honorable brother said, that this is a coalition about just taking power. It's not about governing. It's not about ideology. It's not about principle. Among the things that Tinubu have done, they've not come out and say this is how they can do it better or do it differently. They've not come out to say this is what is doing wrong. They just said, oh, the country is suffering. We want to take power back. Basically, that's it. By whom? To whom? For what purpose? You know?
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, FMD. Now let's move on to the last and final topic for today. The recent, you were not here, so the recent threat to the former presidential candidate of the Labour Party, Peter Gregory Obi. We want to get your input. We start with Honorable Job Dele Brown-Ero.
Okay. Again, like I started before Chief MD came back, is that the whole thing is kind of childish. The Nigeria political terrain is so funny. Now, I will look at that as mostly political, you know, and more. A lot of people have seen it that is, to me, he doesn't actually have the right or the power to deprive anybody from going into a different area of Nigeria. But it is political. That those are political statements. Not just originally from him. It has been, we have heard that different governors have said the same thing in their time. Even Obasaki, the immediate past governor, threatened the Shomole that he's not guaranteed. He will not guarantee his coming into his own state. Oshomole is from Edo State. Obasaki is Edo State president. And as a matter of fact, it was Oshomole that put Obasaki in there. But he threatened as well. So all these things is just a game that they're doing. We don't, it's not, I don't want to go into that. I don't want to speak on that at all. Because why? Nobody, as far as Nigeria Constitution is concerned, you are free to move around anywhere you wish in that country. So, and for any governor to come out to usurp their power, to try to speak with impunity against somebody. No, that's not our issue right now. Our main issue in that country is, if you ask me, is insecurity. We are not able to fight it. When he said 3 people died when Obi came, all right, how did they die? Did they just die? Was he out of stampede or what? It is not. They all know he's trying. He's doing well in trying to combat or fight cultism, which is good that he's doing. So, and I believe that those people that died could be member of some cause or something that, I mean, it's not, I don't think it was as a result of Obi's presence in the state that led to the death of those 3 people that he said died. And Obi contributing money to an institution, anybody can do that, even individuals. I mean, Obi is an individual. At the moment, he's not occupying any political position. So he has the right to do whatever he likes with his money and all that stuff. Yeah.
Thank you so much,
I
my
don't
brother.
support that. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. For clarity's sake, nobody died. That was all bunch of lie from pit of hell by the Honorable Commissioner for Information, Paulo Ombamu. You and I know him very well. That was from the pit of hell. That there was a stampede, 3 person died. When they were asking him on, I think, Arise TV, he was beating around the bush. Yeah, that's the information. So that's all from the pit of hell, man. But drop that. Nobody died. Chief MD, you have the floor.
Like, I will just make this very clear. I'm one of those people, at least among the 3 of us, that can openly say I did support and campaign for Governor Monday Okpebholo. I did that with honor and pride. I paid my own money, and it didn't give me shishi either as well. So, and it not finance the campaign I did. I have structure all over those states that I was financing, people that I was helping. I also, what would I say, pay money, do advert and everything for him. So on a personal note, I think Governor Monday is an amazing human being. If you had the privilege of speaking to him, he's also an humble human being. He doesn't speak with vulgarity. He doesn't speak with loudness like Oshomole. He doesn't impose himself on people like other people or even condescend people. It's not that person. It's a humble, I mean, absolute, complete humble human being. I'm very, very kind and respectful person. That is Governor Monday that I know. But the Governor Monday that publicly threatened the life of a fellow citizen, that questioned the value of a fellow citizen, that also undermined the charitable giving of a fellow citizen, is very, very shameful. And we should distance ourselves from that person, because it's not through him. I don't know if because of the crowd hype him up or maybe some other things that whispered to him that made him utter such a shameful and very, very derogatory statement about Peter Obi. It's very painful to see, and it's heartbroken to see, because the fact that somebody came to your state and donate 15 million or 1.5 million, you understand, to a charitable, to the most demanded sector in the country, and you then speak ill and rubbish that's very, very disturbing. It shows the lack of intellectual width and the depth of reason behind that statement. And the fact that this Peter Obi might be the next president, you understand, that you might probably need to work with, and then threaten his life. That is not us in Edo State. Edo State, which we are very all familiar with, is the only state in Nigeria that you will see an Hausa person go to Awuchi with an Hausa name, and you will say, I'm an Edo-lite. You will go towards Benin, going towards Okada, you see somebody with a full Yoruba name, you will say, I'm Edo-lite. And we will not discriminate difference. We will not say your generation are not Edo or your perspective are not Edo. You hear Muhammad this thing. It's only, I had one name, the other, Muhammad or Oyuwere or something. A Muslim name and a Edo name combined. It's an Edo-lite. So we don't discriminate. We accommodate. We are very loving, kind people. Most especially us, the ASAM people. Where's Governor Monday from? And I'm very disappointed that it will make such strength. I will appeal to him to really publicly apologize, because that's not him. That is not him. If I don't know if you had the privilege to speak to him, I have on several occasions. This man is the most humble human being. Even after he became governor, he's still very humble. That's not him. And it's very disgraceful. It's very painful because that does not represent the best of us.
Okay.
Thank you, Chief MD. I think maybe it was some of these hype men were speaking through him on that particular podium. So let's leave it at that. Your final thought, Honorable Jodele Brian.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you. My advice or my final thought about Nigeria, generally my own opinion about Nigeria, is that we are just dwelling on a roller coaster. We are going from one bad government to another. So we have not been able to provide solution to most of the problems that we have because of one basic thing, which is greed and corruption. If we decide to put greed aside, we have a great nation that we'll be proud of. Unfortunately, the same people are being recycled over and over and over and over. And these people have no idea. Their own agenda is totally different from an agenda of how to move a nation forward. That agenda is what they call selfishness. If they have the people at heart, I mean, if they want to, that's a disservice. If you want to bring people with selflessness, that's the only way. That's the only way we can change the narrative in that country to bring it, to make it become a very viable country that will be proud of, even those of our children to come. Otherwise, if we continue to dwell on this roller coaster and recycling, we're going nowhere. So we have to think about that seriously. Let us leave nepotism out of politics. Otherwise, the democracy that we say we have is just going to be an autocracy. Thank you, and God bless you.
Thank you so much. Chief MD, over to you, please.
Well, I believe in one Nigeria, but if one Nigeria is not sustainable, I believe we should go back to regional government. Let each region have their prime minister and a very weak head of state. That way, we can govern ourselves. I think we should also have regional police, because we don't have a police that whereby you catch a terrorist, you take it to the police station. The DPO of that police station is an Hausa Fulani man. The DPO of the state is an Hausa Fulani man. And then the terrorist is released the next day or shipped out to the north and nothing happened to them. But if you have regional police, state police, although, yeah, the state governors might want to use them against opposition, but they're already doing that now with federal police. We pass law to make it difficult for them to be able to do that, even though if they'll break it. But 90% of the time, those people will be much efficient. Like the local vigilante we have, they are more efficient than the police and the army in Edo State, in most especially in Eastern Land. The vigilante are doing better job than the police, the army, the air force, the navy, and the federal government combined. So we should have that, and that would make things much better. My own personal advice again is all citizens must get involved. If you're in Nigeria, living in Nigeria, and you have the capacity to vote, you need to register and vote. I'm not asking you to support any party. I'm not asking you to support any candidate. You need to get your voter's card and exercise your right, your due right to vote. Vote for a person of your choice or anyone that commands your respect, be it Tinubu or whoever that is his opponent candidate will be in the next election. But vote. Let your vote speak. It may not count, but let it speak. Eventually, one day it will count and will make the difference. God bless.
Thank you so much, my wonderful brothers, for always being part of this program. We've come to the end of this program for today. For me, I believe there's one thing that is very important. As human, if God gives you the ability, the power to serve your people, serve them well. So at the end of the day, you'll be remembered for something good that you did for them. Let's look at the case of the late President Muhammadu Buhari. The people from his region were celebrating when they heard about his passing. I hope that the angel will convey this message today to President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. How do you want to be remembered 8 years from today? How do you want to be remembered 10 years from today? Do the right thing when you still can, when you can still make a difference in the life of average Nigerians, when you can still change the narrative for your people. Nigeria is at a tipping point. The business as usual approach won't hold much longer. Rising citizens' awareness, economic frustration, regional tension are conveying dangerously if leadership at all levels fail to act decisively, justly. Nigeria risks deeper unrest. But with the right reform, inclusive governance, and honest leadership, the country still holds massive potential. Thank you, and God bless you all for always be part of this program. Thank you, my brother, once again.
Thank you.